Ja, już.
Luźne.
Mhm. Zero idea about how it works exactly. Um, I'm not sure if I'm gonna put any video. I wanna talk with you a little bit. Wait, let me see if my microphone is working or not. Not too sure. I think some of you already know that why I started this channel. Probably you do know too that well, if you know why I started, you know that I did not start to record to make an extra money. It was just for me to do something while my son was at school, because it's been, I don't know, more than 2 years since I am on a medical license, and it is not a secret. Maybe some of you already know that I am bipolar or borderline, and I have anxiety. I don't care about the name actually. The thing is that I do have to take meds, and for now I am not doing therapy for a couple of months. I was having just online appointments with the psychiatrist, and I was having some bad thoughts, and my therapist told me that I should talk with a psychiatrist, and so I did. In an online appointment, sometimes the doctor doesn't even know your name. It happened with me in an online appointment. I always thought that they were there to give me a paper to buy meds and to stay at home taking care of myself before being able to go to work. I heard from a friend that no, I have my psychiatrist's cell phone to call, but that never happened, and it was even worse because one psychiatrist that looks that she was pretty good, she was talking with my therapist, and once she gave me a medical license for 3 months, I needed a paper to go to a special doctor that belongs for the government. He would say if I was good or not to go to work while I was in this medical license. And she was not there in an appointment, and in the second, in the third one, because she was not a psychiatrist. And when I searched it, I think it was my sister who searched on Google. There were more than 100 people complaining about her. She was a doctor, but she did not study one more year to be a psychiatrist, and then she needed to make a test. And I saw that also she said that she was a specialist taking care of the skin, and it is not true too. So I do have a lawyer because I still have to handle with some things since I decided to move and live with my son and no longer with his father. We were not there living as a couple but parents. But it was so not okay in many ways. I had some thoughts about he was at one point I was just pretending that he was not there, but my son was growing, and when there was a time for us to sign the contract again, it is a paper to rent an apartment. In Brazil, it is 30 months, 2 years and a half. And it was time for us to sign and be there for more 2 years and a half. I was considering staying because paying 2 rents plus the money that my son's father would have to give to him to help, knowing that his payment was less than I receive. I thought that maybe I could stay, but if he leaves me alone with my privacy and pay the bills half and half, not me paying the rent, that was more expensive, and just electricity was to him only, and the rest if we spend using the credit card, then we should pay. I should pay what I spent. If I decided to buy some clothes or some toys to my son, it was up to me. Same thing with him. If he decided to spend his credit card with other things, he would have to pay. So just the bills that we need to pay, rent, electricity, gas, that would be half and half. And it became a nightmare in one point when he started to say, if I'm paying half, so half of the bed is mine too, and I'm gonna sleep in your bedroom. The bed is for a couple, but I was sleeping with my son since always. Still nowadays, he's 11 and he sleeps with me. I tried to put him and try to make him sleep on his bedroom. It did not work. And my back was hurting. It was a small bed, and my cat was sleeping with us, so it was not fair to sleep in a small bed, me, my son, and my cat, while he was sleeping in a big bed. And I said, okay, I gave up for a while. My back is hurting, and the therapist back in time was telling that it was not okay to sleep with my son. Like he would have to protect me in a way that I wanted him to be with me in the same bed, so his father would not complain and try to sleep with us. And when it was time for us to sign again, um the most important thing was have my privacy, because he was, if he had the chance, he thought that it was okay to see what I was sending on my cell phone. If he found a way to see what I was posting on Facebook, it was okay for him to see. And that was horrible. I remember that if I was in the bathroom in a shower and I forgot my cell phone out, I was like desperate. Even if I was not talking about him, but yeah, I was always with my cell phone in a pocket, and if there was no pocket, it was under my bra for everything, to go down and take food, to go to the shower. In every place I had my cell phone with me. So when I wrote that I needed my space and the bills would be half and half, I wrote and I gave it to him, but he was busy. He was with his cell phone playing a video game. So I left the letter in the table. On the next day, it was in the same place, and then I decided to move. It did not took a long time. In a week, I found an apartment. I moved in one day while he was working, and I just came once because I forgot some towels and I think a garbage too. And then I started to search for a lawyer. I moved in February. I don't know which day. It took so long for the judge to decide that on April we signed a paper to agree. It was what the judge would say. My son would stay with his father twice a month, and he would pay 20% or 15% from his payment to my son. And yeah, 2 months was too much for me to wait, and I decided to sign. And that was on April. On and it happened on 2019 when I decided to move after 10 months on January 20. He passed away. The police called me in the middle of the night, and I think they thought it was pretty weird what I said, because it was something like, can I go in the morning, because my son just is asleep and I would have to wake up my mother to stay with him. So if someone received a phone call like this person just took his life, and the police just listen, can I go in the morning? I think it sounds super strange, but for me it was a relief. It will send me messages talking about the thing that makes me feel more bad. Actually, it is just two things that can make me feel pretty sad. To say that I am not a good mother, because my son is my reason why for everything. And I always had a problem with the mirror and food. I'm not gonna say with my with my size, because I never needed to lose a lot of pounds. On my mind, yeah, I had to bully me when I was 20. So he talked with a friend that I was fat. People asked, they were saying congratulations for the second pregnancy, and so many other things about to move was not the best option as a mother. Have my son not close to his father every single day. Also, he said that he wants to stay with him. It would be half and half. I would stay with him for 15 days and he would stay for 15, and that would be a huge. I was so worried that the judge could decide this, and I just signed this paper, and every time that I had to leave my son with him, I was just praying for nothing bad happen. I saw two cases that the father just the kid, and then right after just themselves. There was two cases. I was talking with my therapist and she calms me down in a way that he was mad with me. She was more worried if he would do something with me. She asked if I was inside the apartment, and no, I used to call saying that I was there. So I was in the street, just give the clothes for my son to sleep during the weekend, and that was it. But even though knowing that he loved my son, that would be the thing that would just make me just fall apart, and I would not be in this world if he decided to hurt me. And if he was crazy enough to my son, that was what I was worried. Just to affect me, I was not 100% sure that he would never do. I was not. And I remember that I was talking with a friend. I was talking, I don't think he can do this. And what she said was, do you think that those mothers, there was two cases, one was working during the night, so I think she was a nurse, and the father was with the kid, and she said, do you think that this mother was thinking that the guy would do this? And the other case, the couple was not living together, so the kid was there to spend the weekend with the father. And she asked the same, do you think that this mother thought that he could do this thing and just leave the son? So it was pretty hard for 10 months, because we moved like I already said, was 2019 February, and February or March. And on 2020, it was January 24, and I needed to go to take the things from the apartment. My brother-in-law was with me. I saw a lot of meds that he did not open. I did not know what was. It was meds for depression. The doctor always said that he needed, but he was just taking pills to calm down. I told him to go and see a therapist, and he said that he did not need it. What would he say? And I said, just tell her that I told you to go. And he was there 2 times only. Then I think he had another appointment. He never came back. And when I was in the apartment, the name of this med, I could not say what it is. So I searched, and it was a med for depression that he was not taking. There was a couple of boxes, 4 or 5. He used a sort of a gas, and I have zero idea why there was blood in the ground. He came from another state to leave, and the deal on his mind, and mine too, in the beginning, we would stay together until we would be able to buy an apartment, and then one of us would have a home. But it did not work yet. And he kept on saying about this deal all the time. Because he had no one here. It doesn't change it too much for him, because he was not talking with his brother for years. Just because the girlfriend was sleeping there and not helping with the bills. He was not talking with his mother for a year. So there was only me to go to the morgue to sign the papers. And fortunately, his mother could come and take his body. He wanted to be burned, and no way it would happen here in my city. If someone do not die in a hospital, if it was, or maybe, so they just don't burn. In case if it is gonna be necessary any time to take the bones and make some other exams. So it was what he wants to, but it would be impossible here. But where he born, it is not a small city, but I live in the biggest one, talking about the population, where the money is. And the fact that her mother was police officer, she was retired, and she could do what he wanted to. Be burned with the letters that my son wrote to him. But the damage was done. He doesn't never go away. I'm gonna be okay. better, but not like it was before. And that is affecting me hard now after 4 years, because I I am handled with a lawyer. He left some money on his account. Now it is on my son's account. But the judge, the state have to take care. And 2 years ago, when I first started to talk with a lawyer about this money, it took a long time to finally be on my son's name. I said that I did not want the money. It would be for him when he was 18 years old. I did not knew that it would take years until I would be able to go back to my job. And now I need this money. So I'm talking with the lawyer. I'm trying to call at least 3 times a week. And it is pretty stressful. Do not receive an answer, or receive an answer saying that there's not that I can do, but just wait for the judge to say something. I think when this part, this final thing finally just finish, I'm gonna be a little bit better. I never wanted to put myself, I never saw myself in a victim position. But thinking now, I was. I cannot ignore the fact that I won 30 pounds. I cannot just forget that even after he passed away, when my cell phone is ringing, I was scared. It took a while for me to understand that there would be no more messages. I cannot forget all the bad things that I heard. I don't keep any bad feelings inside for a long time. It doesn't mean that I don't have a memory. So if I say something, of course I'm gonna remember and I'm gonna feel sad. It doesn't mean that I think about this all the time. And that includes everybody from my family. I recently lost my mother, and I don't understand why people that were so close to me and part of my family could think that I need to take care of me, because it is too tough. And I understand. It doesn't mean that I agree, because I did not do this. When this close person from my family needed, I was there, not expecting anything back. But I don't want anyone to be worried. But the fact that is that I do have a rope on my window, and I cut the protection in one window on my living room. And deep inside, I know that I would not leave my son alone, because I was 44 when my mother passed away, 43, and I still miss her. So how could I do this with my son? But in the other hand, I don't feel safe, and one of the reasons it is because he's too important in my life. And if I think that I'm not a good mother, I know he's not gonna agree. He's gonna say that he would like to stay with me no matter what. If I think that he needs a chance to live in a family that is better than stay with me, knowing that I'm sad, I cannot hide every time that I think about this things just don't make me feel that I'm a good mother. I think it would be better without me. And that is why I don't feel safe. Feel safe in the point that in the past I did some shit to just I was hurting myself. I was in a mental hospital many times. And I thought it would be something. It was not feeling okay. I was taking meds, but I never had a plane before. I do have a plane now. And the fact that Chester Bennett, that was older, he was not a 20 something, and a YouTuber from Brazil that was around his 40s, a little bit younger maybe. And then a woman that was playing volleyball in the past, they have to retire in a young age, so she had the same age that I had. When I saw that she just jumped, I was so scared, thinking that okay, there is no age. Like, if you have a heart attack and you are young, in 10 years it's not gonna be as bad, and in 2 decades not gonna be as bad too. I thought the same thing about this, but that there's no right age. Of course you can search for numbers, but thinking that the actor Robbie Williams, he was 60 something. I don't feel safe. I don't want to blame anyone, but family, I would never turn. I will never stop talking with anyone. I answered my cousin. We talked a bit. I know she's gonna try to talk with me when she needs, because that is what she was doing since always. First time I told you I was not feeling okay when she called saying that she needed to talk with the kids to just say goodbye. I was just trying to say, don't do this now. And how can you just, okay, not ignore. If I say a good thing, if I'm okay, then we can stay together as a family. If I'm not, so who else can help me? Can you realize how many shit I passed through and you still maybe my son and everyone else close to me would feel better if I just leave. Maybe this is true. And if this happened, I know that's you. Son, I hope that one day you can forgive me and realize that staying close to someone like was not the best option for you. And if I decided to leave, it is because on my heart I think it's the best thing for you. I love you. You are the most important thing of my life. I love you more than I love myself. And I used to say that I love you more than the emotion of your hand. And